Hello and welcome you to a new PLCnext app webinar. Thank you for your interest. My name is Daniel Buschatzky and I am the product owner from the PLCnext Store, the digital marketplace from Phoenix Contact for professional automation software. In the past weeks, many new interesting apps were published on our PLCnext Store. And on one special app with the name Pump Health Monitoring, I would like to take a closer look in this webinar. The app is brand new and available in the store just since a few days ago. And the app was developed by the company UReason from the Netherlands. And to provide you with first-hand information about this app, I will make this presentation together with Bram Blocks. Bram is the solution engineer from UReason. Hello, Bram. Nice to have you here.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. I'm happy to be here. As mentioned, I'm a solution engineer working at UReason. So I and also the company helps other companies, asset owners and OEMs to build predictive maintenance and condition-based monitoring solutions. And we do that from start to the end with our own in-house built software called APM Studio.
Yes, Bram, thank you very much for taking the time and joining us. And Bram and I came up with the following structure for this webinar. First, Bram will briefly introduce the company UReason, and then he will go into details about the app. This means he will explain the features from the app itself and as well as possible applications and areas of use. After that, my part is to demonstrate the installation process from the app with the store on a PLCnext controller. And of course, if you have questions, you have the possibility to use the chat function from this call, and we will try to answer them afterwards. Right now, I hand over to you, Bram. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Let me start with telling something about our company first. Let me share my screen for that. I have a few slides presentation. Yes, so as mentioned, and thanks for the great introduction, Daniel, we're UReason. We're specialized in real-time AI software for machines and processes. Our field of operation is on the right side of this screen. So where you have like the initial levels that companies use are visual inspections and instrument inspections. That's not where we focus. We focus from real-time condition monitoring onwards. So also predictive maintenance. So the use of intelligent algorithms that run 24/7. Then prescriptive maintenance, level 5, and level 6 digital twins. So where we create a complete copy of a specific asset or your system and add intelligence and connectivity to that. For that, we have built our own in-house software that has been under development for quite a long time already. It's completely mature and of course we keep improving it. It's called APM Studio, Asset Performance Management Studio. And it's a low-code environment where you can easily build through a drag and drop interface intelligent applications, focusing on condition monitoring, predictive maintenance, etc. And the good thing or the extra benefit is that you can deploy it anywhere. So it can be deployed on chip, it can be deployed on the edge, on dedicated service or in the cloud. What makes it different? Well, we have domain expertise and we also help you integrate your own domain expertise. So we work together with you. The models that we create, the data and the IP will be yours. So we don't have a black box software. You will understand what you do. That's also our philosophy. It's you are the reason, hence the company name. As mentioned, we can deploy AI anywhere. And we work on having transparency so that you can relate what your models are actually doing. And then a last slide on the company is how we support our customers. So we help from the start in defining the use case and the business case if necessary. Then looking at the data that you already have or need to collect. Then together we develop models or we develop dedicated models for specific systems or processes. And last but not least, we help you set up with complete architecture, your IT infrastructure if necessary, for predictive maintenance, condition-based monitoring, and thereby we also integrate APM software, APM Studio, for which we also have created a small application for the PLCnext Store, which is focused on centrifugal pumps, and I'll show that app in just a bit. So let me dive straight to the application. Let me see and share that screen. So here we go. Should all be able, oh, that's the old presentation, sorry. I have a lot of screens open here, so I need to navigate in between them. Okay, there we go. Let me double check. Yes, you should all be able to see it. So this is the application that we have built. It's a pump typical application. So what it is, I personally call it a out-of-the-box solution for pump condition monitoring. So what you see here is a centrifugal pump, and this is the main menu, which you see if you download and install the application and open it. And what we have built is an intelligent application that you can directly connect to your data stream, to a OI4 data connection, and then start monitoring your assets. And I will now in the coming 10 minutes run you through this application and give you some insights. So first, let's start at this starting panel. What do we see? Here on the top is the main menu. So you have a link to home, to data, processing, focus view, and output. We'll go into them in just a bit. Here on the left, you see an asset overview. So you see some critical parameters of the pump and some KPIs. So what is the current health? Is it good, or is any maintenance required? And here you can see different parameters. Over here you can see a small overview of the efficiency and the electrical power. This is all running in real time. And here we have added a specified menu to have a quick move to specific topics. So configuring the input pump data. I'll show that in a bit, how to connect it to your own data source. Analytics and processing, we'll go there as well. There's a small dashboard and visualization. You can also configure your pump, so the properties of your pump itself, and the key performance data, so the key performance indicators. And here on the bottom is a slider menu, so you can easily navigate to the different panels. This application is a slimmed down version of APM as a whole to make it concise and very concrete. But later on, I'll tell you also a bit more about the whole APM Studio, what you all can do with that. So that's for the first page. Let's start and configure the input of the pump data. So we can move here. And over here you see first a dashboard that updates with the data, and over here on the top you can configure your OI4 data source. So I hope you're all aware what OI4 is. If not, I would recommend to check it out. Just to give a short summary, OI4 is a new protocol. It's developed by the Open Industry Alliance 4.0. And it helps you to move data from different sources. So a direct interface or a protocol standards for interfacing between assets and the cloud. And this application connects to that, so making use of that standard. So when you click here, you see a menu, and here you can link to your broker, your app ID, and to a port, and then it will directly connect to your OI4 stream, and you can pull the specific data in. So it's very easy. Since already I'm running on data, I will not do it here. But of course, if you have the app yourself, you can try that out. So that's for the part of connecting your own data. So that's really a piece of cake, I would say. And then it all updates the models in the back and also the displays. So after you have imported the data, we can have a look at the analytics and processing. So that's on the next page. And that's what we have here is a so-called bow tie rule. It's a bow tie model. So bow ties are cause-consequence models. What you see here is on the left are different causes. For example, causes that may result in a pump failure or degradation over time, stuff like that. So a number have been specified. For example, looking at the vibration, looking at clogging, looking at the head, etc. And there will be a test to see, okay, does it, for example, exceed a certain limit, or is the trend changing? And then goes to a check. So it's a summation of scores, and it checks, okay, is there really an issue pending or upcoming, or is everything working as desired? If something may be detected, then it fires up some consequences. So, for example, we could detect a loss of efficiency, a pump failure, another pump failure, for example, by turning on and off the pump. So this is an automated model that checks on unwanted events, causes, and then relates consequences to it. So it can give you a real-time monitoring of your pump. Then we're moving towards the dashboards. So let me move to the next screen. So based on the cause-consequence model, so the bow tie model that you just saw, a number of alerts can be pressed out. Those are being displayed here. And with APM Studio, you have the option to forward those alerts, unwanted events, but also the data streams that are aligned with that. For example, you can connect to a CMMS system and have a direct work order put out there, or have an alert, or send out HTTP request, etc. For the purposes of simplicity, we haven't done that in this demonstration here, because things may otherwise be too complex to keep it as an out-of-the-box solution. But we do display the potential failures here, so you have a log of that. And next to that, you can relate it to the asset values. And here are different dashboards with, for example, also the option to zoom in. And here are the errors being displayed over time. So this gives you a continuous check of, okay, what is the status of my pump? And do I need to act upon what I'm seeing and what is being displayed? Then we're moving towards the next page, and this is the KPI. So this is the key performance indicator. And we have created a performance indicator for the pump itself. So this is, I'm sorry for that. This is the overview. Okay, is the pump is it healthy, so to say, or do we see any changes that is happening? I will not go into too much detail here because of lack of time. But there's also a document on the page where you can download it, and there's a maker's blog where you can read it in more details. And of course, me and my colleagues are open for questions. So this relates to okay, what is my pump in a critical, severe condition, or is it running smoothly? That's based on a lot of models running in this application in the background. Over here, we have a small dashboard to display some data. And here you can also configure your alarm output. So what happens with the alarms? that's as I mentioned a few minutes ago. So you can send out the alarm results toward another broker and use that in different applications and your monitoring solutions. So you can have direct action taken upon if any critical event may occur or may be detected. So this application you can integrate completely with your system. And then last but not least is the configuration of the pump itself. So you see the pump, and of course the pump has specific properties. So not all pumps are the same. And here you can set the pump so the models in the back match the different pump specs you have. So for example, I stick here with the reference flow of 50. Then we have the reference power in watts. Then the head of the pump. Of course, you can input the bearing temperature, the shaft reference speed, and the housing vibration. So those are all parameters and thresholds that will be stored. Then we have the maximum allowed discharge pressure and the minimum allowed discharge pressure and the minimum allowed suction pressure. So those are all variables you can fill in depending on your own needs. And then the minimum allowed flow and minimum head, and then the liquid vapor pressure. And that should be all. So configuration finished. I stuck with the configuration I already had set, but feel free to play around with it and match it to your needs. So that's a quick overview of the whole application. As mentioned, please feel free to download the application and play around with it yourself. Move the settings. I've been running through it quite quickly in about 10-15 minutes. But of course, there's a lot of details that I couldn't address here. So please have a look at that. What could be interesting is to see if you have, for example, a system where it could be integrated, to what data stream you would like to connect, what you like to do with your alarms or with the data that comes out. I would be very happy to hear from you if you see any way to fit this application into your own system, how and which, for example, features it potentially would lack to make it suitable for your system. I think that's it for now from my part. I hope to have given you a good overview of the condition monitoring application. As you have seen, it's really a matter of connecting to your own data stream, configuring your pump specs, and then configuring the output, and you have a very quickly set up health monitoring application of a centrifugal pump. So thank you, and I think we're moving back to Daniel then.
Bram, thank you very much for this presentation. What I like about the app is that a rather complex technology is made easily accessible for the users. Thank you for that. And I think now there's one piece of the puzzle is missing in this presentation. I think the installation process from the app on the PLCnext controller. And I will briefly now show you the process here on my laptop. The first thing is you have to visit www.plcnextstore.com and you have to create an user account and you have to log in. I am already logged in. And here in the promoted area, the pump health monitoring app is visible. And the user has to add a device first in his profile. I have already, I think, 5 devices, PLCnext control here. So you go on the Get It button, and here you have the opportunity to install the app directly from the store on your device. And now, normally you have the possibility to select one of your devices. In my case, only one device is online. And the question from my side is, what is the minimum firmware for your application? You know that?
The application runs on the 3152.
Okay.
So that PLC device. The minimum specs, I think if you have a 1 gig RAM, it should be more than sufficient. So it's a very lightweight, slim application. I think we also addressed it at the store. Currently, it's only for the 3152, but we're now developing it to also have it run on multiple PLCs.
Okay, and I think the minimum firmware is 2022. And of course, the next step would be that you select one of your devices and immediately the installation process will start. And you have an automated process here. Alternatively, you have the possibility to download the app as file from the store. And after that, you download the app file to your desktop or your PC, and then you have the possibility to install the app with the web-based management from the device. So it's very, very simple to install the app. But Bram, please summarize again, what are the next steps after the installation? What are the first steps?
Yeah, there's not many steps except for that you need a license, which we just deliver. As you may see, there are 2 documents in the store. One is the user license, so that's a recap of what I also have been showing, how the app works. And there also is an installation and licensing document. I have that also here, so I'll share my screen to display that. Yes, there we go. I'll zoom in a bit. So it's very simple. Of course, you have your own PLC, and you need an internet connection, as you already mentioned, Daniel. First step is to download it. Well, that was very well explained. And then if you have installed the app on your device, you can navigate to your IP address in your browser and then port 8090/APM Studio. And that will open this window. And this is a window where you can automatically request a license. This red circle, I'm not sure if it's visible in my screen share, but I've put it there. So here you have the option to click and download the registration information. So that's a TXT file, and you can send it to support@ureason.com. And then our support team, mostly in an automated fashion, will directly get back to you, or as soon as possible, with a license. And that license file you can drop here. So here's a drag and drop area. As soon as you drop that license in, it will directly activate the app, and you have an up and running application. Maybe good to mention, also in this document, I've made a link to a blog which is called the Pump Health Monitoring with APM Studio, a how-to guide. So that's a quick guide on how to get started with this application. So that's the only thing you need to do to get this app up and running. Install, get the license, and then you're there.
Okay, thank you. And this document is located in the PLCnext Store, right?
Exactly. There are 2 documents there. Yeah.
Fine. So
it's a PDF.
Yes, I see we have some questions here in the chat. Question number 1. Usually, models need to be trained when they are used for predictive maintenance applications. What does the learning phase look like for your app?
Thank you. That's a very good question. So what we have done in this application is we have made use of standard models, so to say. so models that apply to almost any pump. You've also seen the bow tie and cause consequence model. So there's no training phase in here. We have trained models that are running there and some standardized models. If you want to integrate, for example, new machine learning models that are trained on data, we can do that, but it's not integrated here because it's usually quite customized work. So for that, we could open up a complete APM Studio for you, and they're also using a drag and drop interface. You can deploy your own models, and we can help you train them in advance, or you can train them yourself, and we can deploy them for you, or you can deploy them yourself. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, I think so. Thank you. Another question from Peter. He asked, what options does the user have to adapt your app to their individual app application? For their pump application.
So what options does he have?
Yes, to adapt.
Application?
Yes, to adapt the app to their pump application.
Yeah, so there's the option to configure your pump. Mm-hmm. So the specific parameters, as I run through, and you can also reread that in the blog. So you can set the configuration, so the head, the suction pressure, etc., maximum temperature, and you can directly connect to an OF4 data stream. So if you have a data source or data stream, you can connect to that and pull that data in. And it will recognize it. That's the power of the OF4 protocol. And you can send it also out through OF4, so the results from the application. So as long as you have that data stream, then you can connect real time. Of course, there is in the full package, not this specific application, but in the whole APM Studio, you can connect also to different data sources. For example, a REST API, MQTT broker, OPC UA, anything we can connect to, or you can connect to using this application, both as the ingress as the resulting data. So you can really see this as an intelligent connectivity layer. Yeah.
Okay, and I have a last question. Apps like this often need a cloud connection, but it is possible to run your app without a cloud connection, like on-prem?
Yes, exactly. You can run this application on-prem. As mentioned, you can run it on chip, on the edge, on a dedicated server. We specifically have that feature because we know that in the industry, not everybody is too keen on having open connections. Also, you shouldn't because of security measures. So you can use this application on-premise on the PLC directly without any connection to a cloud system. If you have your data stream locally and you would like to keep it there, they can do that. And actually, this application is also used for that purpose in some occasions. Because it does the data processing on site, and then you forward only the results. So that saves you a lot of bandwidth that you have to forward. You only forward, for example, the alerts and some resulting data that come out, and not the whole raw data, so to say, that you're connecting at the source. So no cloud connection is required, but of course there's the option to deploy in the cloud or connect to a cloud, but it's not necessary.
Okay, thank you. Another question from the audience is, what is the format of pump data you are using? What is the format of pump data?
Yeah, so the current format is the OF4 standard. So that's there a pump typical has been defined, and that's what we're using in here. In the whole, let's say if we would customize the application, then we could of course use any format. So, but what we do prefer generally is that we have a object-oriented model where we define a class with different properties, and potentially children classes. So we first bring structure to the data, and then we can easily ingest it. That's I hope that answers the question.
Okay. And I think a last question is, do I have to format the analog values, for example, 4 to 20 milliamps, to send out as MQTT packages?
Well, I'm not sure if that relates to this application, but if I understand it correctly, an analog input, you will transfer it to probably a digital output and then forward it to any intelligent application. That makes the process easier if you have everything converted to what's the English word, to the units instead of all the analog outputs. I'm sure there are ways, but I think that's a step you take before this application, and you're not sending in analog values into intelligent application unless it may be with specific purposes.
Okay, thank you. I think if there are further open questions, feel free to use the contact developer button in the store. On the app detail page, there we have the possibilities to get in contact with Bram and his team. So I think we can slowly come to a conclusion. I think there are no more questions at that moment. So thank you again, Bram, for your support. And also many thanks for the audience and for your interest. And have a nice day.
Thank you very much for having me. It was great to be here. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.